Vedanta, a comprehensive synthesis of enlightenment, the individual self, and the absolute reality executive summary. This briefing document synthesizes the core tenets of Vedanta as presented in the source context. Vedanta, the culmination of the Vedas, identifies the ultimate human goal as mukti, liberation, the freedom from the bondages of samsara, suffering and attachment. The central premise is that the individual, or jiva, is a combination of the eternal, conscious atma and the transient, non-conscious anatma. Suffering arises from ajnana, ignorance, where the jiva mistakenly identifies with the body and mind, anatma, rather than its true nature as sat chitananda, existence, awareness, bliss. Liberation is not the acquisition of a new state, but the realization of one's natural, innocent state. This is achieved through jnana, enlightenment, which acts as the intellectual map to reach the destination of mukti. The path requires a rigorous spiritual discipline known as sadhana chatushtaya, involving the cultivation of wisdom, dispassion, and mental integrity. Crucially, the text distinguishes between the inner psychological world, where emotions are involuntary and resolve themselves without effort, and the outer physical world, which requires the application of intellect and dharma, righteousness. 1. The Vedantic framework, lifestyle and goals. The Vedas provide a design for life through two primary messages: how to lead a life of perfection in the world, dharma, and how to achieve ultimate liberation in mukti. 1. Dharma and Brahma Vishai. Karma Kanda, Dharma Vishai, deals with righteous action and practical truth. Vyavharika Satya. It outlines the pursuit of artha, material wealth, and karma, pleasure, within the bounds of dharma. Gnana Kanda, Brahma Vishaya, deals with spiritual truth. Paramarthika Satya, and the Supreme Divine, Brahman. This is the ultimate level, known as Vedanta. 1.2 Shreyas versus Preyas Vedanta distinguishes between two lifestyles based on how one utilizes the results of virtuous deeds. Punya. Mund asani. Preyas, worldly life, utilizing the benefits of punya for material pleasures and a joyful life. Shreyas, spiritual life, utilizing the benefits of punya and the endurance of distress, papa, for the purification of the mind, chitta shuddhi. This is the path of karma yoga. 1.3 The four ashramas, stages of life. The Vedic design for lifestyle follows four categories, though mukti can be attained at any stage. 1. Brahmacharya, the student phase, focus on education and quest for knowledge. 2. Grihastha, householder stage, fulfilling family responsibilities and social duties according to dharma. 3. Vanaprastha, life in retreat, preparing for liberation while directing heirs. 4. Sannyasa, renunciation, total involvement in attaining mukti, freed from all worldly responsibilities. 2. The architecture of the individual, jiva. The jiva is defined by the equation atma plus anatma e jiva. 2.1 Atma, the real self. The atma is the absolute reality and the source of physical and mental consciousness. Its natural state is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat, eternal existence, absolute reality. Chit, awareness, knowing factor. Ananda, bliss, infinite harmony. 2.2 Anatma, the non-self. Anatma is the non-conscious factor consisting of the body, mind, and experiences. It is described through 11 aspects, categorized into 3 groups. Category aspects. Description 3, shariras, bodies. Sthula, Sukshma, Karana gross, subtle and causal bodies. Jivkoshas, sheaths, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya covers that conceal the Atma, food, breath, mind, intellect, bliss. 3 avasthas states, Jagrat, Svapna, Sushupti, waking, dream, and deep sleep states. Detailed breakdown of the subtle body, Sukshma Sharira. The subtle body functions through 17 aspects, expanded to 19 in some contexts to include chitta and ahankara. 1. 5. Gnanendriyas, sense organs, hearing, touch, sight, taste, smell. 2. 5 karmendriyas, action organs, speech, hands, legs, excretion, reproduction. 3. 5 pranas, vital breaths, prana, exhaling, apana, inhaling, vyana, circulating, samana, digestive, udana, ascending, reversing. 4. Manas, mind, the part of the mind that wavers or feels emotion. 5. Buddhi, intellect, the part that decides and judges. 3. Cosmos and divinity. Ishwara and Prapancha, Vedanta, describes the universe, Prapancha, and God, Ishwara, as the samashti, totality, while the jiva is the vyashti, individuality. 3.1. The nature of Ishwara, Brahman, Maya, causal universe, Ikho Ishwara. Unlike the jiva, Ishwara is aware of his real nature as Brahman and possesses intelligence without ignorance. Maya is the beginningless illusion that depends on Brahman and possesses the 3 gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. 3.2. The process of creation, panchikarana. The physical universe evolves from subtle elements through a blending process called panchikarana. Subtle elements: space, akasha, air, vayu, fire, agni, water, ap, and earth, prithivi, emerge from Maya. The blend. Each element retains half of its own tamas guna and shares the remaining half equally among the other 4 elements. Result: this blending creates the sthula prapancha, physical universe, and the sthula sharira, gross body. The path to liberation. Sadhana chatushtaya, to transition from the vachyartha, superficial meaning of jiva, to the lakshyartha, indirect meaning as Brahman, one must follow the sadhana chatushtaya, 4-fold practice. 4.1. The 4 sections and 9 sadhanas. 1. Viveka, wisdom. The discrimination between the eternal, Atma, and the transient, Anatma. 2. Vairagya, dispassion. Detachment from worldly and heavenly pleasures, seeing the dosha, fault, in transient objects. 3. Shad sampat, 6 virtues. Sama, control of the mind. Dharma, control of the senses. Uparama, turning away from unfavorable external environments. Titiksha, endurance of opposites, heat-cold, praise-insult. Shraddha, intense faith in the Shastras and the Guru. Samadhana, mental integrity and concentration. Ekagraha chitta. 4. Mumukshutva, intense desire for mukti, liberation. 4.2. The process of realization. The journey to realization follows 3 stages. Shravana, listening to or reading the scriptures. Manana, clearing doubts through inquiry and reflection. Nididhyasana, right apprehension and confirmation of the truth within oneself. 5. Psychological analysis. Inner versus outer worlds. A central insight of this Vedanta approach is the strict separation of the psychological and physical domains. Point 1. The inner psychological world. Involuntary nature. Emotions, anger, fear, joy, arise spontaneously in the emotional part of the conscious mind. They are Gnanendriya aspects, reflections that appear and disappear like ripples in water. The error of effort. Attempting to regulate or suppress emotions only intensifies them. Like a self-stopping tap, emotions resolve themselves if left undisturbed. Freedom. In the inner world, there is no good or bad. One should allow emotions to flow freely without the interference of the intellect. 5.2. The outer, physical world. Voluntary nature. The intellectual part of the mind is willfully activated for external actions. This is the Karmendriya aspect. Responsibility. While one is not responsible for inner emotions, one is entirely responsible for external actions. These must be guided by intellect and dharma, ethics and justice. 5.3. The role of intellect. The intellect's boundary is the external world. If the intellect tries to manage the inner world, e.g. trying to fix sadness, it loses its quality as intellect and becomes merely another emotion, mind. 6. Defining enlightenment and liberation. The text clarifies a common confusion between jnana, enlightenment, and mukti, liberation. Enlightenment. This is intellectual information. It is the map or the message providing directions. It is not an experience, but the destruction of ignorance regarding the do's and don'ts. Liberation. This is the destination or state. It is the natural, innocent, childlike state of the mind where emotions flow freely without being retained. It is the realization of the Nitya Sakshi, eternal witness. Critical takeaway. Liberation is not a state to be attained through travel or effort. It is the natural state that is currently obscured by the habit of fighting against the mind. To realize this is to say, Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman.